Hey, what's going on YouTube? Here I am doing a video, and this video is pretty interesting. I got 3 cheap mods that you can put on a 2025 6th gen 4Runner that, you know, add aesthetics and usability. They're all over here on the desk, so we'll get started with the first one. The first one on the list are these upgraded recovery points for the front of your vehicle. They're aluminum. Obviously, I'll have links for everything in the description. So let's get installing. When you install this, you're gonna want a, wait, where is it? It's upside down. A 17, oh, you can't really see it. 17 millimeter socket. Under the vehicle, here is the stock ones. They're pretty ugly and just like, you know, normal. You know, just normal ones you find under here. There's 2 of them, one over there and one right here. So you just take your impact, or I guess if you're using a wrench, and take off these big old bolts. All right, I got it taken off. So you're reusing these bolts. This, keep just in case, you know, you never know when you want it again. I like to always keep the truck parts, the stock stuff that I take off in case I ever want to go back to stock. So let's get the new one installed. So this is kind of hard to film by myself, but basically I'm gonna put 1 bolt through it, put the impact up, put it in the first hole, let it rip, and then I'm gonna put the other one in. So I'm just gonna sink that a little bit. Gonna grab the other one, put it in the other hole, hand tighten it just a little bit so it stays. All right, sink this one. Sink that one, and then go ahead and put her on there. You obviously want these pretty tight. Sorry, you can barely see just how the camera's doing. But yeah, you want these pretty tight if you're gonna recover off them. So let's go to the other side. Now what I like about these is they match the shocks kind of on the DRT off-road, the red Bilstein. So that looks pretty cool. So if you perch up on a hill and take a photo, it'll be matching, look pretty nice. Make sure you do the same thing on this side. And there we go. Everything's installed for this. Now those recovery points, they're not like really like gonna help your recovery too much. They're more of aesthetic, and they're aluminum, so they're a little lighter. The stock ones that I took off down there, they're probably like 3 times the weight. So I guess you're saving a little bit of weight, and they look cooler. All right, next on the list of installs are these smoked out sequential side mirror turn signals. So when you come over here, the stock ones, they're clear and kind of just a little ugly. So this will black them out, make them sequential. So let's get this off, and get the install for you guys. So in the kit, they give you this pry tool, and basically you want to go under the light and slowly go around this entire plastic piece. Oh, this is kind of hard with one hand. I might have to turn the camera off and do it both. But you want to go under the plastic piece like this, kind of all around the corners until this piece comes off. Let me do that real quick. All right, I got it off with the tool. Was kind of a pain, so just make sure you go like all the way around it. Just putting this in, put it in like halfway, and then just, you know, be nice with it. Don't try and break it. Now we got to take this bottom piece off just to get to the light a little easier. So while you're taking this off, they do provide you with a screwdriver. You got to take out this screw, and I believe this one. There might be a couple others hidden in here, so let me take those out. We'll get this bottom piece off, and I'll show you how to connect it. All right, I didn't fully take this off, but I feel like I got it loose enough to get to this light. So basically you kind of just, there's like little clips here, and then little clips in there. You just have to kind of wiggle out. So let me get this light out for you. All right, I got the light loose. You can see like right here, there's like a hole. It goes around like a tube right there. You just have to pull that out. And then there's just 2 clips right here. So now all you do is, it's just a basic wire disconnect that, and then we'll get the new one in. All right, here's the new light. Make sure you grab the right one for the right side. So here's the 2 clips on the new one. You just click it right in there. And then here's the hole that goes around that like tube right there. So I'll get that in and show you what it looks like. I got it all clicked in. Kind of just sits here. You put a screw back there, and then it just wraps around that tube there. So let me get all the screws back in, put this cover plate back on, show you guys what it looks like. Now before you put everything back on, start the car or put your hazards on, make sure it works. So in case it doesn't work, you would have to take it all apart again. So it works. I'll get this cover plate back on. I went ahead and put all the screws back on too. All right, I got the cover back on. It's kind of interesting to put it back on. It just kind of clicks in place like that. You know, just double check everything's clicked in. There it is installed. I'm gonna go do it off camera to the other side. No point for me to show you again. And then I'll show you the final product. I got the other one installed. It's looking, sorry, the sun's like in the way, but it's looking sick. Definitely way better than the stock. And then, you know, see how it's darker. Just looks better. I like the darker look. So let's move on to the next product. All right, for the next product, for some reason, these 4Runners still come with the old-fashioned stick thing to hold up your hood. I mean, like, it's 2026. Why is that still a thing? I don't know. It's slightly cheaping out. So for the other affordable mod you could do is these hood struts. And obviously I'll have a link to all this in the description. Just install your own hood struts so you don't have to use that stupid little stick anymore. So we'll get into the first step of installing these. First step, there's gonna be a couple brackets like here and here. One will have like a hook. Get the one without the hook. And then it goes right over here. So on the, right side of the vehicle if you're facing it, left side if you're not. Right here, there's a bolt right here. It's a 12. This goes right here. You use the bolt in the hole, put it there, tighten it down, and make sure it's sticking up. You see how there's like an L bracket? It goes like that. So let me get that installed for you. All right, as you can see, I got it tightened down pretty good right there. Now we'll move on to the next step. Now you're gonna grab one of these brackets right here, and it's gonna go right there. So you take this off, and you make it point towards the vehicle like this. So let me do that real quick. I got her installed there. You want to make sure it's tight and stuff. On the strut itself, you can kind of see there's like a clip there with ridges. I can't really do it with one hand, but you put a flathead under it like this, pop the clip up, or you can go from the side maybe, on both ends, so you could click it into the holes. So let me do that real quick. Once you loosen a little bit, I went to test it. I didn't think it was actually going to pop in, but it popped in perfectly. And now you're gonna have to lift the hood up a little bit to get it on this one by pushing. Can't obviously do that with one hand, so let me get that on there real quick. So I still have the stick in because obviously the other side isn't installed. But yeah, here we go. It works just fine. You just pop it on like a little ball and it works perfectly. Let's move to the other side. Just the exact same thing on this side for this bracket. Let me get that on there. So for the bracket on this side, this is the one with the hook. You can see the hook there, and then there's a hole. And then they give you 2 bolts. So you come over here. This is going to be really hard to film, but I feel like you guys can figure it out. There's a threaded hole there, and then to the left of it, there's a little thing. So it goes like this. Put the hook in there, and then you thread it into the hole. I have a wire running here. I'm going to tighten it over the wire for my solar because I ran this before and I didn't realize they'd be in the way. So I might either put it under it or just keep it here, and it might just keep the wire from falling off. So I don't know yet, but let me get this installed for you guys. I got it finger tight. I'm gonna use the wrench to go ahead and get it really tight on there. And then you just repeat the same process for the strut. I went and switched out for a ratcheting wrench. By the way, it's a 14mm for that bolt over there. There we go. We got both of them installed. It also opens up your hood a lot more than what the stick does. So yeah, fully strutted up so we can close it a little bit. Show you what it's like when I unlock it and push it up. There we go. Now that is an upgrade. So that's the video, guys. 3 cheap mods you could do on a 2025 6th Gen 4Runner. The company did send out those 3 products to me, but I picked the products and I already have all the products that I installed on this on my truck. So I'm already familiar with that stuff. It was stuff I was probably gonna buy anyway, so it's not like I'm, paid my opinion. This is stuff that I'd actually do. They did send it out. Basically, they had a whole catalog of stuff and I picked 3 things I wanted, and I installed them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will have links below on if you want something like this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and go ahead and follow my Instagram in the description.